Hey guys, so today we're going to be working on this adorable Moe's digital pencil image called Be Mine. We're going to start out by outlining our image with N0. And nothing too fancy, we're just going to go quickly around the outside to give her a little bit of a shadow. And I do this first in case I mess up and I need to erase it. It makes it quick and easy to take it off of your image if you do it first. And for me, it gives it a little bit of a shadow, so it looks like she's kind of popping off the page. She's not sitting flat on the page. Next, we're going to give her some ground with N3 and N1. And again, nothing too fancy. I just quickly go over and add a little bit of shadow under her feet, lighten the edges, and then come back in with my N3 to make it a little bit darker. Next, we're going to work on her skin. For that, we'll use E53, 51, and 50. I thought we'd try something new today and switch up our skin tones a little bit. Always fun to try something new. So we'll start out with N53 as our dark tone. We'll add a quick coat of E51. And then I go over both of those with E50 to blend them all together. And we'll pop up here and do her face. Again, we'll start with E53 in all the places you want it to be darkest. And since her head is tipped to the left, I decided the left side of her face should be a little bit more shadowed. And we'll add a quick few strokes of E51. And I'm not worried about it blending too good the first time through because I'm going to add cheek color and then go back over it. So we'll do E50 here. And I didn't color in her whole face. I left her eyelids and her nose white. Then we'll come in with our cheek color, which is R43, 32, and 30. Use R43 sparingly because it's pretty dark. And then a tad bit more of R32. Then we'll soften that up with our R30. And I went over those little dots on her cheeks up there and really spread it out. So she's got quite a pink there. I decided I didn't have enough pink, so we're going to add a little bit more. Soften it with our R30 again. And then we're going to come in with our skin tone. So I'm going to start with E51 this time because I don't want her face to be really dark. And then I'm going to go over the whole thing with E50. And I decided her cheeks needed to be a little bit pinker. And her arms were not quite matching her face, so I'm going to give those a second coat of skin tones. Pink up her cheeks a little bit more. She just looks so happy. Next, we're going to do her hair. For that, we'll use W9, 7, and 5. So we're going to do a few flicks of our W9 first. And I try to hold my pen more straight up and down so I can get little bitty stripes. I'll add a little bit of W7. And then we'll add a few little stripes of W5. And I forgot to do the little background spot there, so I'm taking my N0 and filling that in quickly. And then I decided I needed a little bit more black, so we're going to add a few more stripes of our W9. Let's go ahead and do the yellow. For that, we're going to use YR16, Y38, Y17, and Y18. We did our darkest shade of YR16. We'll add some Y38 next, and then Y17. And I decided I need a second coat, so we're just going to go back in and apply that. And you want to do alternate stripes. So pick a stripe you want to start with and then skip each one. And we'll pop up here and we'll do her shirt. Same thing, pick a stripe to start with. Add your shadows in. Come in with your medium tone. And you may or may not use all the colors I used. It just depends on how much space you leave. I tend to use my last color to go over the whole thing just to blend it all together a little bit better. And then I decided I needed a second coat to darken it up. And go over those three with our lightest color. Now we're going to do the black stripes. I probably should have done those when I did her hair, but I didn't. I forgot. So we're going to use W9, 7, and 5 to do the alternate stripes on her socks and her shirt. So start with your darkest, which is W9. Come in with W7. And finish it off with our W5. And I go over the last two colors and kind of blend it out with that. I go over it a couple of times, so it wasn't blending as well as I wanted, so I thought I'd give it a couple more swipes. Next we'll do her wings. We're going to add a V22, and I just did a little bit there in the center of that big wing. And then I'm going to add B00 over the top of that. And again, I didn't go clear to the end, I left the ends white. And then we're going to give her ruffle on her skirt, or her underskirt, a little shadow with C0. Then we are going to finish her up with our reds. For red, we're going to use our 27, 17, 05, and 22. To add my darkest color, R27 first. Come in with R17. Add a bit of R05. And then go over those last three with my R22. And we'll go down here and do her shoes. Same thing. We're going to add R27 first. And I'm not going to do the little stripes on her boots or her soles. I'm going to leave those white, so I'm going to be careful not to color those in with my red because I will not be able to get that off. Red doesn't remove very well. We'll add our touch of R27, or sorry, R17, R05, and then go over those last three with R22. And for a skirt up here, I'm going to start with R27. And what I'm going to do is, see how our skirt has the little V's there? I'm going to go, so the bottom of the V is going to be the darkest color. And then when it comes up to the top of the V, I want that to be the lightest color, which is R22. So I'm going to leave it, try to make so there's a straight line at the top of each of those V's, so they'll really stand out when I'm finished coloring her skirt. I'm also adding a little bit of my R27 up there at the top of her skirt, or where it goes into her shirt, so that it's darker up there where her skirt touches her shirt. Then I'm going to go along each side of my R27 with R17, soften those out, and I try to keep my lines fairly straight, just so when I get to the top, you'll have that nice shiny light area, and it'll be a straight line. And I'm also adding this a little bit at the ends, so next to her skirt there, you're going to have it a little bit darker. Turn my girl so I can try to get my line straight. Then we're going to swipe over the whole thing with R22. Then I decided to darken it up, so I'm going to give it a second coat. So we're going to go over all of those colors again and just darken her skirt up a little bit. This really makes those points stand out with a second coat. Look how nice and pleated that looks. Now I'm going to add some Spica clear glitter pen to her hair and those little antennaes. Next, we're going to add some Wink of Stella brush to the hearts and her wings. Add some sparkles on there. I decided to add some to the ruffle too, might as well. She likes to sparkle. Then we're going to quickly put our card together. It's nothing too complicated. I just had a few pieces there from my Blueprints My Favorite Things die that I cut out, and we're just going to whip it up, add a sentiment, and I can give this to a friend. So I hope you had fun coloring with me today and putting our card together. If you have a question, leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to get back to you. Otherwise, I hope you are having a fabulous day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.